we've got some more info to talk about as it pertains to the upcoming NCAA football video game, which will be titled EA Sports College Football. Now, many regulars of this channel know that I've been talking about this game for years, as it was announced some years ago, and every time we get a leak or an update or any little tidbit of information, I'm always going to keep you guys up to date every step of the way. So if you don't want to miss out on any of the upcoming information, leaks, or official gameplay that we're going to get for this game in the coming months, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on. That way you never miss any of these important videos when I post them. I'm trying to get to 600k subs before the end of the year, and if everybody watching just subscribed, we could hit that number in a few days. Now, we've got two things to talk about as it pertains to the upcoming EA Sports College Football game today, and this isn't anything that's too crazy or too big, but at the same time, it's pretty interesting and something that I know you guys are going to want to hear about. Now, one of the biggest narratives around this game from a lot of people in the community is that a lot of people for some reason still don't believe that it's even real. Even though EA has talked about it, they have confirmed that it's coming out this summer. They've spoken on it multiple times through sources like ESPN and IGN. There's still a lot of people that for some reason think it's not actually real because we've been waiting too long for it and we haven't heard enough news about it from EA themselves. Well, the first bit of info we got today should finally put all of that to rest for any of the few people left that are still non-believers. Now, I have to shout out another YouTuber by the name of Tubby Light because he is the one that revealed this info yesterday. He put it out into the world and it popped up on my homepage of YouTube when I logged in a little while ago. And this is pretty interesting news. Now, I will have Tubby Light's video linked in the description below if you also want to go show him some love, which you should because he has put out some info about this game as well, and he reports on it just like I do. Now, what Tubby Light got sent yesterday from a follower appears to be an Instagram story from the guy that is directing or helping shoot the commercial for EA Sports College Football. Now, he said that this story was posted to close friends only, meaning this was not shared with just anybody in the world where you could go on this guy's Instagram page and see it. Only selected people were able to see this story, but one of the guys that saw it just happened to be a follower of this YouTuber Tubby Light and sent it over to him. And what you'll see in the first shot is there is a director's clapboard, and you could see on it, it says EAX CFB, meaning college football. And if you look closer at the director, which says T. Ubin, I believe is how you pronounce it. Well, Tubby Light looked into this guy, found him, and it appears that this is a guy that has worked with EA multiple times in the past. So this is a director that they have worked with pretty consistently, which is something EA does. They typically try to work with the same people once they have a relationship with them. They use them over and over in business because once they find somebody they like, they kind of stick with them, which is kind of normal for a lot of companies. Now, on the story, it says commercial for EA Sports College Football game this morning, and they're at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. And other shots here that you're going to see that Tubby Light was sent, you see some footage of them actually at the Rose Bowl, and even in the background, you can see the same director's clapboard laying on the ground here, and you see that they're kind of panning around the Rose Bowl stadium. He also got sent some other shots as well from the stands where you can see a few workers and some camera equipment and things like that also inside the Rose Bowl. So really, this isn't like some groundbreaking news, but what it does kind of finally prove once and for all is that the game is very close to coming out, because they would not be shooting a commercial for a game if they weren't planning on dropping it in a few months. They wouldn't be shooting a commercial for a game that's set to come out in 2025 or 2026. So seeing this little bit of behind the scenes info here really just solidifies that we know this game is coming out soon. All the reports have been true. I mean, EA themselves have said multiple times recently, even the president of EA, that this game is on pace to come out this summer. But seeing this kind of just gives it a little bit more validity, because they wouldn't be doing this if the game wasn't close. So this is a really good find by Tubby Light here. So shout out to him. Now, we got some more info that dropped recently as well that we're going to go over in a second, but really quickly, I want to shout out today's video sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. If you like sports and you like winning money, then you have to try Underdog Fantasy's Pick'em game. Basically, you can pick between a wide variety of player stats to go either higher or lower, and if they hit, you win. And if you know sports, this really isn't that hard at all. And the best part about Underdog Fantasy is when you sign up, they give you a free play right out the gate to help you win some money. For this weekend's playoff games, they're going to give you Christian McCaffrey to get a single yard, meaning all he has to do is get 1 yard, and that's it. You win. And they also do this for the NBA as well. So for example, Friday night, they're going to give you Victor Wembanyama to get a single point. And all throughout the season, no matter when you sign up, there will always be a free play just like this. And on top of that, when you sign up using my promo code RAY, R-A-Y, they also double your first deposit up to $100, meaning you can get up to $100 free to play with, and you just can't beat that. Now, the next bit of info we got regarding EA Sports College Football was put out earlier this week by none other than Matt Brown. And if you've been around this channel for a while, you know by now that Matt Brown is really the only reliable leaker for this game. He only puts out solid information when he has it, and he's always really straightforward about where he gets it from. Sometimes he gets it from a source at EA. A lot of times he gets it by filing open records requests with some of the college institutions where they send him the exact emails that they have sent to EA Sports regarding the upcoming game. Well, earlier this week on Twitter, he posted a little bit of an excerpt from his paid newsletter on his website, and it says here that EA Sports has told at least one school that our team expects to create more human likeness at one time than has ever been attempted in video game history. Now, after doing a little more digging, I have found some of the info from this newsletter on other websites and Instagram pages, and basically what it said here was EA Sports has requested athlete headshots from schools to recreate their player likeness in the EA Sports College Football video game. It also says here that EA began this process as early as August of 2023, and that the headshots would be used to recreate the things like hair, skin tone, eyes, and everything else regarding a player. So basically what EA is attempting to do here is do something that's never been done before. Obviously, we've seen in other sports games we have player likeness, but when you talk about a college football game, there are more college athletes than there are NFL athletes, NBA athletes, FIFA athletes, you name it. There's so many players in college football, and if they want to get a wide variety of player name, image, and likeness, they're going to have to do something that is unprecedented, because with most of these games, you see player likeness in the hundreds or low thousands, but if we're trying to get upwards of maybe, let's say, 5,000, 10,000, you're going to have to do something that hasn't been done before. And what's interesting here is that the news of them requesting the headshots means they're not going to be doing the typical scanning that you see them do with games like Madden. And that is one of the big reasons why in Madden, if you're familiar with this, we don't have player likeness for even some of the biggest name players, because the problem with this is that when you use a scanning system, that means you have to actually get the player in person to scan them into the game. Now, they go to the Combine and the Pro Bowl and these big events to try to get as many people every year that they can, and sometimes they even go out to specific practice facilities to try to get the players that are there. But the problem is there are still some players that you're just not going to be able to get. They might not be available at the Pro Bowl or the Combine. They might not be available when you go to the practice facility, and at that point, it's kind of on the athlete to make time to get scanned into the game, and if it's not that big of a deal to them, they're just not going to make time for it. But also, just logistically speaking, trying to scan every single athlete in a league is just pretty hard, because you've got to line up with a bunch of different schedules, and that's just never going to happen. So the fact that they are using headshots for NCAA is actually a really good thing, and it's something I wish that they would take the route with Madden, because technology is good enough at this point where you can use headshots to create pretty good player likeness in games. Now, yes, scanning is always going to be preferred. It's going to look even more realistic, but you would rather have headshot scanning than nothing at all. And when you're talking about a game as big as college football with all these athletes, it's really the only smart way to go about it if you want to get a wide variety of player likeness, because it's not going to be feasible to just go scan thousands upon thousands of college athletes. It's just not going to happen. So they're going to be embarking on something that's pretty big and hasn't been done before. And it's good to hear that, they've already been working on this as early as August of last year, meaning by the time this game comes out, we should have a ton of player likeness in the game and not just the top players, which would be pretty cool because it'll make the game a little bit more realistic and it'll create a lot more immersion. Now, if you want to know some more about this game in terms of what features we can expect, you can check out this important video right here on the screen.